Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are going to be looking at your questions. I've asked you all to send me the questions in the community tab and to like, and that's the most important thing. Make sure you like your favorite questions that other people ask, because that's how I choose what I'm going to read on. You know, some of you, there's close to like 100 likes on some of these questions. So I'm always going to gravitate towards that because that tells me that that's what people want me to look at. So here in New England, let me tell you, the temperature has like skyrocketed. It's in the 80s. So here I am with, you know, short sleeves, and you could probably hear a little background noise because the window's open, which both Annie and Maggie are enjoying sitting in the windows right now, but it is so warm. I mean, it went from being in the 40s and 50s to mid 80s. So trying to cope. So I thought this was a great question. It's from someone named Peg. And she says, I asked this not just because of your gifts, but also because you were in the healthcare industry. Why is it that HIPAA laws don't protect women's reproductive rights? I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Doesn't that cover your right to privacy? Yeah, one would think, right? We do seem to sort of exclude women's reproductive rights. So let's take a look at that. Let's see what the cards have to say. I think I have a pretty good idea of where this is heading. You know, not because it shouldn't be covered, but because of those who are in charge, right? They don't always have the best of intentions. Okay. So the first card here, you know, the Queen of Swords, she is someone who is very legal, first of all, right? So this has to do with legal issues. But I think this is where we're heading. So I think we need to have actual legal changes because she hasn't been allowed to step forward and use her sword of truth here. So I think this is where we're heading. The obstacle has been betrayal, betrayal by the system, by those in charge, by politicians, you know, that sort of thing. So 10 of Swords. The next card, I guess, who's surprised? And it has to do with, I'm going to say, shackling women, because when you look at these two characters down there, they are shackled to the devil. And so sort of like chaining them down. That's where we've been at, you know, not allowing that freedom and not allowing the high priestess to come through. And, you know, that's like the sacred divine feminine. And so I think this is where we're going, but we still have to contend with this first, and it'll be done in the courtroom. Here's the Emperor. So, you know, this is a legal issue. It needs to be made a priority, just like we would any other health issue, you know. I can tell you as a dementia practitioner, you know, we took HIPAA very seriously. One time, one of the places I worked, there was actually a breach, and there was people's medical records that got compromised, and that was a big deal. Let me tell you, if you ever work in a facility where that happens, they have to really take charge and do something immediately. It's not something you can let go. So, all right, Miss Pioneer Girl asks, climate change. The real and biggest issue we face is not much in the news these days, but should be front and center. Agreed. If wars would cease and people would stop trying to invade others' privacy, will we, the US and the planet, get back on track and make this a #1 priority? Yes, I do believe we will. We will. You know, we are derailed at the moment, which obviously has severe consequences. I mean, the weather is getting more and more extreme. You know, I keep watching these wildfires, you know, out west, the tornadoes, you know, mid-America, down south. You know, this climate change is not good. I mean, even what we just experienced, I mean, here, it's been like a 40-degree difference from like one day to the next. I mean, that's not normal. So we need to make it a priority, don't we? So let's take a look. Okay. So interesting interesting. So we start off with Page of Cups. Now, all pages deliver news, right? Pages are messengers. And he delivers emotional news. So I think that's exactly what I was just saying. Like, I am seeing all this weather, all these weather systems that are just making our lives miserable, right? I mean, it's devastating people's lives. It's, costing an insane amount of money. And so I think we're going to keep hearing about it more and more. And, unfortunately, people do get hurt. It's not just property, even though, nobody wants to lose their home. But people are actually getting hurt. So it's a very emotional issue. And, this is what is happening here. 5 of Pentacles. People losing their assets, their health, their well-being, all that stuff. This is called the poverty card. And so, this also, I think, does speak to the fact that there's a lot of large corporations who don't really care, right? They have their own best interest in mind, which is not long-term. They're being very short-sighted. And so this is sort of how it's leaving us. But then, here we go, making judgment calls. Here's the Judgment card. But it also means going through a rebirth and revitalization, okay? So that tells me things are going to change. We will get back on track and things will stabilize. 4 of Pentacles. 4s are a very stable number in numerology, right? There's 4 corners that make the foundation of a house, that make it nice and strong. And so things will get stable. And that also means too, like weather-wise, it'll get stable, but financially, because people's house insurances are just going up. I know it's skyrocketing where I live on the ocean. I can only imagine what's like in some of these other areas that are getting hit. So, we do need to have stabilization. So I think we're heading in the right direction. It's just not going as fast as we would like. That's for sure. So next question is from Nikki. What do I see happening for the midterms in the US? Do Dems gain more seats in the Senate, keep the House, and flip state legislators blue? So why don't I look at them separately? So let's take a look at the Senate with the midterms. Gaining more seats in the Senate. Let's take a look. Okay. Okay. So 6 of Pentacles, this is a card that's talking about balance. He literally has the scales of justice here, right? So, things balancing out. So when we ask, do I see them gaining more seats? Well, he has so much that he's able to give to others. And so when you're asking about more, well, he has more than enough. And so that's how I would interpret this card. Like, okay, yeah, that's really positive. But you know what, though? Nothing's been decided. 2 of Swords. Meaning we can't be complacent. We all have to get out and vote. We have to do our part. Okay? That's the thing. I think sometimes people get too comfortable. They don't get out and vote. And then they're not happy with the results. And so we can't be like this character with the blindfold. We have to get out there and, do our part. King of Swords. So, to me, that's a positive card because he's holding the sword of truth. It's fair, it's balanced, it's double-sided. It's moral, ethical, just. So yes. And then the card of victory, triumph, leadership, having gone through a battle, but emerging victorious. So I would say yes to the Senate. And then let's take a look at keeping the House. And I just like to spread my cards out. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so keeping the House, what do we need to know? We will do a 3-card poll, and it'll be a timing question. So like, when will I, that sort of thing. We'll do that at the end. Okay. So first card, Ace of Cups. So an emotional new beginning. Aces are about new beginnings. To me, this is a positive card. This is a yes card. The obstacle, Seven of Cups. So here we're getting more cups. So there's going to be a lot of emotions, surrounding this and with this. But also too, this is the card of being disillusioned and, confused and not being real and, based in reality, that sort of thing, centered, grounded. And so, yes, I think we all need to get out and do our part, but I think this is also kind of talking about the Republicans. They're really hitching their wagon to 45, a lot of them, and they really want his endorsement. And I just think for them, it's going to be a catastrophic mistake. I don't think this is going to be good. So I think they're a bit disillusioned on where they actually stand. And then we get like this nice, card of stability, Knight of Pentacles. Now he's not fast moving or exciting like some of the other knights, but at the same time, he also keeps things the same. So you're asking, keeping the house, and that's kind of what he does. He keeps things the same. So that's great. Oh, and then again, we get the Six of Wands, the card of victory and triumph. So I feel good about it, Nikki. So the cards to me look good. Like I said, I think we just all need to go out and do our part. So Toby asks, how will the people of the U.S. rise up against this potential outcome of Roe v. Wade? Other readers are saying there'll be 2 new Supreme Court justices. Yeah, I've been saying the same thing. That I told you a long time ago, back when everything was going on and happening, and I said, don't get so worried about these Supreme Court justices. I don't see all of them staying. I know it's not ideal, but to me, it also felt temporary. And so let's take a look at getting, some new Supreme Court justices, because I think there's going to be some change and shakeup. So when you ask, how do I think the people of the U.S. will rise up? I think they're going to start demanding answers. I think they're going to start pushing for ethics, right? To have some ethics with these people. And if they had anything to do with an insurrection and things like that, they shouldn't be in the Supreme Court, should they? So I think people are going to demand change. So let's see, 2 new Supreme Court justices. Okay. So yeah, so some of these Supreme Court justices, they want to go to smoother waters, but it's not happening. If it's upright, it's great, right? If the Six of Swords is upright, great, everything's ducky, but no, they're not going to smoother waters. So I think for some of them, it's not working out. It's literally not working out. Here's the obstacle, the card of working. So literally some of them will not be working in 2 years. Oh, I don't even know why I just said 2 years. Because you had asked in a year, but it just came out. So I think there's going to be some big shakeups in the next 2 years. And then look at this, balancing. It's a juggling act. And we're talking about 2 Supreme Court justices, and I get the 2 of Pentacles. And so, yeah, they have to balance out these 2 that need to go. And clearly one is Clarence Thomas, and I suspect the other one would be Brett Kavanaugh. And then we get another card that talks about balance, Six of Pentacles. So there will be a balancing of the powers, the energy that's, with the Supreme Court. So I think, yeah, I agree. I've been saying that, ever since, oh my gosh, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Barrett, they'll be moving on. Liz asks, can I look into the Ukrainians who've been taken into the Russian filtration camps? That is terrible. That's just so upsetting. And see how they're doing, and will they be released? Yeah, that is so disturbing. So disturbing. Really upsetting, isn't it? I just feel for those people. That's why I can't watch the news very much. As an empath, you just get too involved in it. I watch enough so that I'm educated about what's going on, because I don't want to be an ostrich with my head in the sand. But at the same time, I don't want to over expose myself, if you know what I mean. Okay. So we're going to be hearing something about it, Page of Cups, right? Like I said, pages always deliver messages and news. So we're going to be hearing something about it. It's going to be quite emotional. And not in a good way, because here's the Nine of Cups reversed, and it's in the obstacle position. So I don't think everything is going swimmingly for these people. I don't think they're in a good situation at all. I also don't feel like they're going to be released today or tomorrow, that's for sure. So right now, their strength, here's a strength card, their strength, courage, and patience is being tested. So to all of my light workers, send them good energy because they need it. Send them positive vibes because they do need it. There's going to have to be a judgment call made. Here's the judgment card. And I think there's going to have to be some assistance, interference from someone other than Zelensky. This is something that is playing out on the world stage, and we need to be cognizant of that, and stand up for these people because they're not able to stand up for themselves right now. Oh, this is interesting. Here's one of my cards for the US. So it actually could be coming from, this current administration, that they're pushing for it, that they, are saying, okay, look, this, that has to be a war crime, right? To take people from their homes. Come on now. So, we need to get them back. So it's, yes, I think most of them will come back. I do. But at the same time, I do worry about the conditions that they're being kept in and that sort of thing. So, yeah. So I'll do one more. Oh, you know what? This is interesting. I haven't touched this. So I'm actually, because I have touched on some of the other ones before, particularly in my membership program. But Lucky asks, what will the outcome of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial be? Will Depp's reputation be cleared? How will this trial affect how people perceive or think of domestic abuse victims? I think he's going to be just fine. I don't think this is going Amber Heard's way, that's for sure. So let's take a look. And I'm going to, because when you do this kind of reading, you sort of have to read it from one person's perspective, right? So I'm going to look at it from Johnny Depp's perspective and see how he's going to do. Because then we'll know how Amber Heard does, right? Vice versa. Okay, so I think, Johnny Depp is sort of like saying Amber Heard here is the high priestess, right? The high priestess has secret agendas, hidden motives, that sort of thing. So I think that's his perspective. He's been feeling pretty burdened and oppressed by this. I think this has definitely taken a toll on him. I'm sure it's taken a toll on her. It's taken a toll on everybody involved, the witnesses. It's been dragging out. So I don't think it's, a great feeling. But like I said, I am looking at it from Johnny Depp's perspective, and he gets the card of celebration, good times, having fun. So that's a good success card. Then he gets the Chariot, moving forward successfully and triumphantly. So I think for him, it's going to be fine. And I think it's going to sort of shift our perspective, because when we start hearing the things that she had done to him, it's pretty extreme, some of it, cutting off his finger and things like that. And so it's going to, I think, open up our eyes a bit that men can indeed be victims. And I think this is probably not the wisest thing for Amber to be doing, but obviously there is karma between them and we're watching it play out. Okay. So I'm going to use Radley Valentine's Angel Answers, and I'm going to do the 3 cards here. And this is for timing. So when should I get the new car? When will I get that promotion? When am I going on vacation? So it's something to do with timing. Okay. So don't use your conscious, use your subconscious, and just go with your gut. Card 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you feel drawn to? Okay, here we go. Card 1 is not the right time. So not the right time right now. So wait a little bit. Card number 2, a year from now. So now is the time to plan and do what you need to do. You know, get your ducks in a row. And then 3 is in the near future. So right around the corner, it's coming. So I hope that that was helpful. It was a pleasure doing this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, check out membership, leave a comment because that helps the algorithm too. And members, I will be seeing you shortly. All right, bye everyone.